Welcome to Fireside Forge. I'm your host, Citrine, the Armored Sloth, and I'm here with Crank and Tangle. Today's topic is Arcane.
Oh yeah, yippee, yippee, yippee! Yay.
I'm being held here against my will.
Yes, I'm holding you both here against your will! Yay! I would say as a disclaimer, if you have not watched Arcane, and if you are listening, you know exactly who you are and why I'm telling you this. Do not watch this episode. I would say if you hate Vi, this is not a safe space. If you ship J Vic, this is not a safe space.
This is not a safe space.
It's not a safe space for you.
Go ahead.
Honestly, if you ship Time Bomb, you are kind of on the line. You might be able to stay, or there might be a cyanide packet in your house in Minecraft. We don't know. So, just keep
Does that mean I should just swooze out of the call now?
There's a cyanide packet in your house in Minecraft.
Oh my god.
If you hate Caitlyn, this is also not a safe space for you. I'm sorry.
I'm not even a time bomb hater. Like,
I'm not even a time bomb hater either. And we can get into that. We can get into that later.
We will. People are just annoying.
Yeah. I mean, you summed it up in like 2.2 seconds, but yeah.
So if you have those opinions, this is not a safe space for you. And honestly, I would recommend just watching something else.
Oh boy, that's gonna be so good for audience retention.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm at the point in my life where I just kind of don't care. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah. Also, I'll have Silver put the disclaimer. But like, Arcane is an adult animated show, so like, obviously, children be gone. I don't think we'll really get into anything that's too inappropriate necessarily. I have one thing that I want to say, but that's about it. But
is it too late to not do this podcast?
It is too late, in fact. You're contractually obligated to be here now.
All right.
Just kidding. We don't have contracts because nobody's getting paid. Actually, I'm actively losing money on every episode, so.
So, you know.
Yeah. I did want to play, like, my original plan was to play the Jinx game before this podcast, but that did not happen because they released like a I don't know if it was like more
the
of a
VR thing.
Yeah. I wanted to see if I could like play that or like
wait, where is that?
Watch. It's called Jinx Fixes Everything, I think.
I think it's on the PlayStation Store, ?
Oh, is it PlayStation exclusive?
I have no clue, bestie.
Silver will censor it.
Okay.
I'm looking this up, by the way. Just while this is happening, I'm gonna look this up.
But yeah, I wanted to at least like try to see footage of it,
Sorry,
but I just never got around to it. Jinx Fixes Everything.
The other thing is that I told Tangle, let me rewatch season 2 before we do this, and then I never did, because I sat down and rewatched season 1, and then realized if I rewatch season 2, I just get mad, so I just never rewatched season 2.
Dang, bro. I literally rewatched the show, like, I don't even know how many times, so it's in my brain. Yeah, I figure, like, I mean, I have I have a list of things that I want to talk/complain about. But I figured we could probably just, like, divide it into, like, season 1 and season 2, so, like, we could just talk about our thoughts on season 1 versus 2. Well, season 1 and season 2, and then, like, compare, contrast, like, critique, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
I know I'm going to be the majority of the talking in this episode, but I do want to give y'all space to talk, like, if you want to say something. But, yeah. I mean, season 1 is near perfect to me. Like, I don't really have anything negative to say about season 1. Like, it's just really good. Like, storytelling's very solid, pacing's very solid. Like, all the characters are amazing. Like, I don't have much to say about season 1.
Did you have notes written down for this? I'm just curious.
My notes are literally this. They're like, complain about X, complain about X, complain about X, praise X, defend X, point out X, point out X.
Oh my goodness
like,
gracious.
those are my notes.
You are not beating the neurodivergence allegations right now, bestie.
Yeah, my therapist was like, maybe you should get tested for ADHD, and I was like, well, can't argue with you there. So, I don't know, like, season 1 is just, like, okay, the thing about Arcane is it's really hard for you to talk about because it's just so good, and it, like, kind of ruined my perception of other animated media, because I'm like, if it's not Arcane, then, like, what is, like, if it's not, doesn't have this level of, like, artistry and, like, emotional, like, complexity, like, what is the point? Like, what are we doing? And I feel like most other shows that I've seen just don't have that, and it just kind of is like, well, I can only keep watching this forever and ever for the rest of my life.
Lamau.
Michelin star ass show.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in Fortiche, the studio that did it, like, such amazing work. Like, obviously, I'm stating the obvious, but it was really funny because they had an opening on LinkedIn a while ago where they're like, oh, you should, like, apply. And I was like, I'm not even going to embarrass myself by trying to do this. No way. No shot, bro.
I mean, you might as well do
Maybe
it anyway,
some other day.
Yeah.
No, I think I would have to, like, jump off a bridge if they saw my current work. No, absolutely not. No.
Okay, alright. I guess you
Just-
gotta do some more work then, right?
Yeah.
You just need to reincarnate as a French person.
Yeah, I'm like, the French.
Yeah, but then
got
you'd
it
have
a
to be
lot.
French.
Like, L language, but, like, W animation, like, bro. So good. It makes me wish that I'd done better in school in French class, because I'm like, I could be working for Fortiche right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just, it's
Bro,
so
you don't even like
beautiful.
3D animating.
I don't. It's, okay, but, like, but the thing is, like, I don't like 2D animating either. It's just, like...
What do you mean?
It's like, you know when you...
You're the
you know
animator, I'm so confused.
No, it's like, you know when you love something, but, like, the process of it, you have to learn to like, if that makes sense?
I suppose.
I
it's like,
guess?
I like drawing, but I like seeing the final product and being like, wow, that looks really good, but a lot of the time I, like, struggle with kind of, like, getting there, if that makes sense.
Get the ADHD meds and get back to me on that.
Yeah, for real.
Okay,
Like,
fine.
I will tell you, they're not doing much for me today, but in general, they're killer. Change your life.
I think for me, because I had this phase with, like, illustration too, where it's like, I know that I love this to do this thing, but, like, my skill level is low enough that I can't really be satisfied with the things that I make, and I think that's kind of where I am with both 2D and 3D animation. And I think, like, as soon as I start to hit a certain skill level, I will enjoy it a lot more, just because, like, I can actually put what is in my head, like, on the screen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, have you seen, like, that meme where it's like, oh, artist progression versus perception, and it, like, steadily goes up, and then it dips down, and the caption is just, what the hell? And then it's like, oh, okay, we're good now.
Yeah, like, I'm very much in that, like, pit right now when it comes to both 2D and 3D, which makes the process more frustrating, but it's like, I know if I keep doing it, then I will start to enjoy it, you know? But it's just, like, kind of slogging through that part. That's the hard part for me. And, like, I think 3D especially, just, like, it's just not how my brain works. Like, 2D is easier for me just because it's like, oh, that's a drawing, and I can control the drawing. And, like, with 3D, there's this extra element of, like, I'm fighting the software. I have to make sure that, like, it goes from, like, step to spline, and it doesn't, like, I don't know, the normals don't invert or whatever. Like, it's very precise in a way that I guess my possibly ADHD brain just does not like. So...
Oh, I like the puppet. I don't have to worry about, like, what's it called, with 2D animation? Like, because I first wanted to get into 2D animation when I went to college, and this was, like, 10 years back, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that with 2D animation, you have to make sure everything is on model and consistent frame by frame, and that's the part that I hate the most. But with 3D, that's just not an issue, unless you have, like, some crazy squash and stretch stuff going on.
I mean, that's what I do like about 3D, is, like, not having to do cleanup stuff and make sure that everything's on model in the same way. But I like the rough animating process of 2D a lot more, because you just have more control, I think. Like, at least for me, I have more control, because it's like, if I can draw it, then I can make it do it. But, like, yeah. Not to mention, like, the process of 3D is harder to do on your own, where it's like, I can crack open a 2D software and just, like, animate something, but with 3D, it's like, somebody has to make the models, somebody has to do the rig, somebody has to do the weight painting, backgrounds, lighting. That's, like, it's a bunch of extra steps in my head, for me at least.
Laughs at you. I'm like emoting over your grave right now.
It's a skill issue. I'm not gonna act like it's not a skill issue, but like,
I'm pretty sure people who watch this podcast know, but the context is that I do 3D environment art for a living, TM.
Yeah, and once we have enough money, I plan to take advantage of that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway,
so I did a little research about the Jinx fixes everything thing, and the only thing I've been able to find on this is that apparently it was a point and first of all, it was like a timed event thing, so you can't play this now unless you go through like other means. But it was like a point and click story thing that happened in 3 acts within like the League of Legends launcher.
Oh, okay.
And it was like kind of puzzle based and
right.
this and that. But yeah, that's what I found about it.
Yeah, because I knew it's already lost media.
No, because like, you know, a million people like definitely already stole those files out of the computer and just have them, and you can go download them in other places. But like, at least as far as like how you were supposed to go play it, yeah, it was like in the launcher, and then they changed it.
I'm assuming someone has like recorded them playing it.
Oh, absolutely. There's like there's like a billion links here that are like, oh, here's like, you know, full playthroughs of it, and then the other half of the links are like, here's how to play this in 2025. So I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Let me see. I could just go through my list if that's easier. If I just start complaining and y'all can just like
go through your list. Is that easier? Sure.
Okay. All right. It was nice knowing this podcast while it lasted.
Well, now.
Okay, so the first item on my list is complain about JVic, so I guess I'm just gonna complain about JVic.
Yes! Woo! Yes!
Woo! Yeah, baby!
Gay Bowser.
So long, okay. JVic.
Because it's like, my thing is like, I love Victor and Jace's characters, and I'm so, okay, you know what? Actually, I am gonna go up, because I'm so mad because Victor, to me, is such great representation is when you have a close friend and they get a significant other. Like, that is like the peak experience. Like, that is him, and then everybody made it gay, and that's really annoying because it's like, he very much is like, bro left me for the hose, and I'm like, that is Victor. That is Victor. Like, that's his relationship with Jace. Is like, that's my best friend. What do you need the hose for? Like, that's them.
Also, I gotta say, because like I didn't think I would have opinions on most of the stuff you were gonna say in this podcast, but I say this to you all the time, so I'm just gonna say it now so I can make people upset on the podcast. If you watched through Arcane and you looked at Jace and Victor's relationship and said, "Oh yes, they are in love with each other," you have pornography brain and you've never had a friend. Because it is the clearest and most obvious thing to me in the world that was not the intention of the writers at all whatsoever. And then when people ask them and about this question over and over again, they basically have to like be nice about it instead of calling you what I want to call you, which I can't say on the podcast. But when it comes to like, and I've used this on people, and a shocking amount of people have failed this. If you have watched Arcane, I can tell you right now, like, he's the easiest litmus test for whether or not you should take someone's opinions on media seriously. If they watched Arcane, ask them what they think about JVic. It'll tell you everything. If they answer the question and they're like, I don't really understand that, then you can continue to take them seriously. If they go into this whole like, oh, because they were so in love, then you know you don't have to listen to them at all anymore. Just smile and nod your head, and eventually they'll stop talking.
True besties, tell them. Also, like, they explicitly, I'm pretty sure Jace literally calls Victor his brother at some point, like, explicitly so. Not that you should need him to say that for you to get it, but, like, he does, I'm pretty sure he does do that. And, like, you don't really have the excuse of, like, the Disney paradox where it's like, okay, well, did they actually mean for them to say brothers, or is Disney afraid that if they put a gay person in it, that they will lose half their audience? Like, Fortiche clearly does not care, so like if they wanted it to be gay, they just would have made it gay.
Also, like, very true. Yeah.
So that's very frustrating, and I think, like, not to be the platonic affection guy, but like, it is really frustrating when you see a close platonic relationship, and like I think the way that Jace and Victor's relationship is portrayed is really cool as someone who is a platonic, like, friendship enjoyer. And it's just kind of frustrating for people to, like, boil it down to, like, oh, they're in love. And it's like, well, they love each other, but they are not in love with each other. And I'm like, honestly, I want a friend like Jace, because Jace left the baddest baddie to be friends with Victor. Like, I don't know if I'm strong enough for that. Like, that's a good friend right there. Like, dude.
Yeah, and,
like they're the best.
Like, there's a person...
So honest, I forgot the ending of season 2 until you mentioned that right now. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
There's a person that I know who, like, every time this topic comes up, is like, there's no way you could have watched that and not even understand where people are coming from with the J-Vic thing. Like, no, I don't understand it at all whatsoever. This isn't me, okay, I don't like the ship, but this isn't me being like, I'm being obtuse on purpose because I don't like the ship. It's genuinely just not there. If it was there, but I didn't like it, I can be honest about that. It's not there. It's just not really there.
No, but what it is that anytime Guy shows affection for anyone ever, it has to be romantic.
I guess so. I guess so.
And I'm like, and I'm sorry, I guess I'm about to blow up the podcast again, but it's like, the fandom wants Jace to be bi so bad. He's not bi.
He's just not, bro.
He's a normal straight guy. He's just a normal straight guy. Why do you want him on your team? He's just normal. Like, he adds nothing. Like, I don't know why you need that so bad.
So why are you trying to draft Jace?
Yeah, like, they're trying to MLB draft Jace. He's not on the team, bro.
Oh my god.
He's bred. He's just bred.
Yeah, I think he was written on purpose to be, like, the, like, boring Prince Charming character. Like, I think that's what he was supposed to be, and is. Gosh. Like, I don't think he's supposed to be, like... It makes me... I hate this fandom. Like, I genuinely have to, like... I have blocked so many tags from the Arcane fandom, which is really disappointing, because I love... Like, when I really like something, I love to see, like, analysis and, like, fan art and stuff like that. But I've had to block so many tags just because I'm literally so tired. The only people that have worthwhile analysis most of the time are the K5 people, and that's really sad. So, like, bruh.
It's really funny that you talk about Jace like that, because, like, in the game, isn't he, like, Homelander or some crap?
Well...
Resident League expert, take it away! I don't know!
Well, I'm gonna say this with the disclaimer that, like, I was never particularly interested in Jace's lore, because I was... As far as League, the game goes, I'm very much teams on, these pilties can go to hell. That being said... He's not the greatest guy, I suppose. Like, he's got his issues. I don't think your description is entirely inaccurate, I guess is what I would say.
This description is just from memes, so, you know.
Yeah, it's not... Like, you know, keeping in mind that memes like to exaggerate a little bit for the sake of being memes, because that's kind of the point. It's not entirely inaccurate.
Yeah, from what I understand, he was kind of a blowhard in
and he kind of still is.
Original lore.
So, yeah. Yep.
He's definitely more charming in the show. Like, he very much seems like a guy that kind of, like, all he wanted to do was do science, and then, like, all this other stuff started happening, and he's like, bro, I this is way out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Which actually brings me to my next point, which I did put on the list, but since we're already here, I have things to say, because I actually, and y'all are gonna be really surprised, I actually kind of like Mel and Jace as a ship. Like, and when I say that, I'm not saying, like, this is the healthiest, like, you should model your relationship after this ship. But I think, like, for what it is in the show, like, it was fine.
No, they're
No, you go ahead,
I was gonna say, like, to me, they are like, oh, were they lovers? Worse.
Yeah.
They were a doomed het couple.
Because, like, it kind of frustrates me when people, like, boil Mel down to, like, oh, she was manipulative. And it's like, I'm not saying she wasn't manipulative.
There's more to it than
like,
that.
Yeah, there's more. It's more nuanced than that. Like, she very clearly, like, cared for Jace, but, like, I think for her, like, the Medardas are all about power. So, like, for her, like, part of caring for him is like, I'm gonna get you some power, so you can have your little power right here. And, like, obviously that's not...
Here, hold this. It's your little power.
You know, because, like, if you see how
man is in her palm of her hand and just hands it over to him.
Yeah, because it's like that's how the Medardas operate. Like, they're very much, like, very hierarchical, very power-based. So for her, it's like, maybe it started out as a way to, like, oh, I'm manipulating this dude because I think he's cute or whatever. But, like, it very much turned into, like a very genuine affection. Because, like, she even defends him, like, from her mom. Which is, like, if she didn't care about him, she wouldn't have cared either way. Like, whether her mom was manipulating him or not. But I think they just kind of, like, at the end of the day, they don't... Or the weakness they have as a couple is that they have completely different goals in life. Like, Jace literally just wants to, like, be a scientist and make people's lives better, and he's not really cut out for bureaucracy or leadership in that way. And, like, Mel is very much like, I need to secure my spot in a powerful place to make sure that, like, me and my loved ones are taken care of. And she's very good at doing the whole, like, diplomacy and, like, kissing up and all that other stuff, but like that's the fundamental flaw in the relationship. I'm trying not to say words, okay? Anyway. But like that, it makes them a very interesting ship, I think, and I think people very much sleep on their dynamic because it's not two men, which is very irritating, but it's like, I guess I will be the Mel J defender because I think their dynamic is very fascinating as a couple.
No, yeah, I agree. Like, you summarize it very well, where they are a couple that basically are doomed from the start because they just have such different life goals.
Yeah.
But it is interesting seeing how it proceeded. And also it was kind of nice to see him crash out on her.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though, yeah, you're right, it does seem apparent that she did learn to love him in a way.
Yeah, and I think it's valid for Jace to have felt overwhelmed, but also, and so like at any given point, he could have, like, his decisions are also his fault, but like obviously like she was influencing them in some way, but like he's still kind of responsible for his own like stuff. But they're very fascinating to me, and like nobody talks about them because they're like, oh, J-Vic, and I'm like, okay, great, love it. But yeah, I love Mel as a character. I'm also a Mel defender, but I think most people are like okay with Mel, or at the very least they're like, well, she's hot, so who cares? So I'm like, okay, I guess I can work with that.
I do have beef with Mel, unfortunately, and it comes down to like outside production stuff.
Really?
Yes. Okay. No. I think. Well, go ahead, but I think I know what you're gonna say.
No, it basically, it's like they gave her like this weird magic subplot because it's like, oh, we need to like put in foreshadowing for the next show, and I'm like, bro, season 2 is already rushed to heck already. Why is this here?
Yeah, like I think Mel especially, like number 1 definitely got screwed over by like the pacing, and I think Kate is probably number 2 who got screwed over by the pacing. But like, yeah, like I think like they could have introduced her stuff because it's related to the Arcane, which apparently is the point of the show. And I'm like, y'all should have spaced that out a bit more rather than like letting it being like, oh, here's a teaser. Okay, in the Noxus, because clearly in the Noxus show she's going to be an important character, and that's fine. But I'm like, you need to focus. You need to finish your food before you make another meal. You know what I'm saying? That's what, like, you know. I don't know. I feel like she very much got shafted because she was very, like, her character was very well paced in season 1, and then like a lot of other characters like was not as well paced in season 2. Which honestly, I think that brings me to my. Let me look at this list. Hold on.
Oh no.
Okay, there you go. This point says, point out that the pacing should have been slower for season 2. I, as someone who is willing to defend season 2, I will also criticize season 2 and say that I think Arcane, at bare minimum, should have been 3 seasons, if not more. Because I think, like, Act 3, like, you don't notice it. Like, I watched it again, like, I watched season 2 again, because I do genuinely like season 2, because I like how the characters change, and I like how the plot develops. My only issue with season 2 is literally just, like, the pacing. Like, everything, all the chips are in the right place. No character does things that don't make sense to me, but, like, the pacing is like, really, really rushed at the end. And I think if I was writing it, which I do not run a multi-million-dollar studio that make game, and I can barely 3D animate, so, like, feel free to take whatever I say with a grain of salt. However, what I would have done, I think Act 1 of Season 2 is fine as far as the pacing. That was fine. I think Act 2 is kind of where it starts to fall off. Like, I personally would have stretched Act 2 to the end of the season and then have the, like, season finale kind of be, you know, when the commune basically gets blown up and, like, Vander gets shot and, like, Isha dies. Like, I would have had that be the end of season moment because, like, a lot of how Arcane operates as far as its storytelling is these very, like, cyclical patterns. So it's like having each season end with like a stinger or like a shock moment would kind of perpetuate that pattern a little bit more. And then for season
Wait, you're 3, cooking. I like this. I like
this. See? Okay. And then in season 3 could have expanded Act 3 of season 2 a bit more, and then like, because I think a lot of the magic stuff also kind of rushed it because like, it's hard to explain, but, like, obviously they planned on the magic stuff being there from the get-go. Like, I don't think that was a last-minute thing, but it's like, I think they were focusing so much on building up the characters that by the time they needed to introduce something that, like, made the stakes higher, they just kind of didn't have enough time. But yeah, I would have stretched Act 3 into another season and possibly... I think Act 3, if you stretched it out into a season, would have worked. Like, a whole season with the same amount of episodes, I think could have worked a lot better. Just because, like... I mean, episode 7 of season 2 was really good. I think that's probably, besides Act 1, was probably the most solid part of the season. But I think, like I mentioned... Okay. Alright, I guess, wait, hold on. I gotta do it. Okay, another item on my list.
Time for the time bomb rant?
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, one of my points is complain about French songs / time. And I will preface this by saying I do not dislike Time Bomb as a ship. I actually think it works really well as part of the narrative, and I think it actually does add a lot of dimension to like Echo and Jinx's character. So like I don't actually hate Time Bomb. I think a lot of people think I do. I actually really don't. What irritates me is the fandom around Time Bomb and not how it operates in the show. Like in the show, I'm like, okay, we're vibing, chilling, but like. I think Time Bomb falls into that, like, fandom trap where, like, people see a ship and then they, like, lose 200 points of IQ and all they can do, like, think about the ship instead of, like, how it makes sense in the story. Because it's like, I don't want Jinx and Echo to get together. That makes the ship not interesting anymore. Like, the thing that makes Time Bomb interesting is the tragic, doomed nature of it. Because it's like, Echo is in love with this girl who... he doesn't know anymore. Like, she's completely, I don't know, BPD, psychosis, whatever she got, and, like, she will never be the girl that he fell in love with, and, like, he learns to cope and move on with that, but there's still that, like, well, what if, which, like, episode 7 kind of gets into that. And then Jinx, her thing is, like, I don't think she's capable of loving anybody in the way that she is, and, like, I guess she loves Vi, but it's, like, even that is very, like, twisted and distorted because of, like, her mental stuff, and it's, like, while she probably maybe had feelings for Echo when they were kids, she certainly doesn't have them now. But it's like they're on two opposing sides, and like they can't really be reconciled. So all they can really like cherish the time that they had moved on. I'm like, that's good storytelling. I like that. But then everyone, when you go online, they're like, oh, there is a subset of this fandom that are like, oh, in the time skip where we didn't see Echo and Jinx, they like had sex or what. I'm like, I don't want to think about Echo and Jinx having sex. They're like children to me. Like that's like telling me my little sister is having sex. I don't want to hear about it. Like it's weird. You're weird. Like genuinely, like I'm so uncomfortable when people sexualize Jinx or Echo because in my mind, like that is like those are little siblings / cousins. Like it's just weird to me personally.
Isn't
so the fact
Echo
that there's like
a minor anyway? Isn't he like 17 or something?
I think Jinx and Echo are like they're probably at least 18. Like I think
I just remember that he was like the youngest out of the cast or something.
They're probably like late teens, very early 20s, possibly. But I'm not accusing anybody of touching kids necessarily. It's just weird to me, so I just don't like it. It's really weird to me. But it's just so weird. It's like, no, like the draw of the ship is that they don't get to consummate their affection for each other at all, except for in episode 7. And even in episode 7, it's a little fricked up because Echo knows he's not supposed to be there. I'm like, that's good.
That's the point.
That's
good. It's the pining. It's the pining.
He better than me, by the way.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
Yo.
He better than me. I'm so like, look, if I wake up in my magical... Yeah, like, okay, if I wake up in a college AU and, you know, I go talk to Heimerdinger or whatever, and he's like, maybe we should just hang out. I'm just gonna hang out till I die. Like, I'm sorry, y'all gonna have to finish the fight without me. I'm done. I'm out.
Bruh, that's why you ain't Echo.
That's why you ain't Echo. That's why I said he better than me. He's better than me.
So, like, I didn't like the French song in the first place. When it was playing in the show, I was like, okay, this fits for the scene. I like the fact that I think like the frame rate of the animation matches like the beats per minute of the song. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. The song's let's move on. I log off of Netflix, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, it's everywhere. And I'm like, regardless of what ship or context this song was in, no disrespect to the people who made the music because you did a great job and I could not write a song to save my life. No disrespect. But I'm like, the song is not as good as people are making it out to be. It's just not. I'm sorry. Like, I don't believe you. Like, I think people only really like it because it's the Time Bomb song. I don't think it would get nearly as much attention if it was not the Time Bomb song. I'm sorry.
You really said, I don't believe your love of this song is genuine.
I'm sorry. And I'm like, maybe it's just me because like I grew up listening to a lot of French music because of the French class that I took. But it's like, the song kind of goofy to me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
oh my gosh. Also, I gotta say, because the main guy on that song, I'm gonna mispronounce it, Stromae, I think his name goes by. I liked, like, prior to, you know, that episode dropping, I had always liked his music. And I don't tend to listen to a lot of, like, quote-unquote international artists. So I always thought, like, okay, you know, he's popular. But I was always thinking, like, man, I really hope that he, like, you know, gets a big break of some kind. I regret saying that. Because this was too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's not even overplaying it. She's not even overplaying it. Like, same thing. I watch the episode, I kind of go about my day, and then suddenly it's like every video, every song, every time-lapse, every, like, Instagram Reels and TikToks and YouTube Shorts. It doesn't even have to be about Arcane. It was in there. I'm like, y'all gotta give this a rest. Like, please.
Yeah, I'm like, you need to stop.
And it's like I think... Also- go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm about to go off again.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think I like the song more than you do, Tangle, but, like, I'm not crazy about it. Like, if it came on, I would not switch the channel. If someone was like, yo, play the Arcane soundtrack, and then put it on, I wouldn't complain, but I'm like, you're kind of right. I'm like, we doing all this?
There are so many,
we are.
Literally...
Pass me the aux cord.
Like, there are literally... I'm sorry, there are literally so many other songs show that are better than the song. I'm sorry. Like, they just are, and they don't get nearly as much of it as attention, and it's, like, really frustrating. Like, I just don't think the song is that good, regardless of the context that it was created in. Like, I just don't think so.
It's so funny watching you guys crash out over this, because, like, the way how you feel about this is the way how I feel about, like, you know, when Spider-Verse, the part 2 came out, you know, all the memes come out? So, you know, like, that noise they have for, freaking Miguel, what's his name? Where it's like, that was everywhere, and it was pissing me off.
I think that's the funniest meme noise. I'm so sorry. It's so funny to me. I can definitely get with it being overplayed, though. That I can understand. I can sympathize with that. But that is one of the songs, like one of the sounds that will immediately elicit some sort of laughter response.
Clearly for everybody else too, because it did go pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's like, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. It was, yeah. But, okay, the thing I wanted to say is, like, it completely overshadowed the other song in episode 7, which I objectively think is, like, I did not care about Heimerdinger, like, pre-episode 7 of season 2, but, like, he very much shot up to, like, top 5 characters for me after that song, because it's such a charming song. And, like, the context in which it's played... And, like, it very much adds a lot of depth to Heimerdinger's character that, like, wasn't there before, because, like, feel free to correct me, resident League player, League addict, former addict, I don't know. But, like, as far as I understand, like, Yordles live a really long time.
They are theoretically immortal.
Yeah, and they basically reincarnate when they die, so it's, like, to them, like, they don't tend to slow down and enjoy life as much, because they're just like, I gotta get this thing done, and I gotta do that thing, and blah, blah, but, like... Part of Heimerdinger's arc in that episode was, like, to slow down and learn to enjoy things and not just, like, be, like, so type A all the time. And I'm like, that's... I don't know, like, something about that song... And that song has an application, like, it's meta. It's not just, like, for the situation that it's in. It's very meta. If you listen to the lyrics, it very much, like... I can't confirm this because I was not in the writer's room, but, like, a lot of the lyrics, if you look at them, it very much feels like it's about the creative process, where he's basically talking about, like, you know, you just have to live your life and you have to try your best, and, like, if you don't like certain parts, you can replay the parts that you do like, but we did our best and we love the thing that we created. And I'm like, that's very much, like, what that song, like, that, you know, like, the hidden meaning of that song, in my opinion, which I'm probably right. And it's just such a great, like, I cry every... Well, I haven't listened to it recently, but, like, I literally cried every time that I heard the song for, like, a couple weeks, because it's just a very beautiful song to me. And, like, it made me love Heimerdinger, and I did not care about Heimerdinger. And I'm like, no one's gonna talk about the song? Okay, we're all doing the French song? Alright, cool. Not gonna jump off the bridge. Nice, cool, great.
Oh, man.
Okay, tangentially related. Y'all seen like that post where it's like, oh, every Arcane song, hey, we're killing people and robbing people.
I literally, I almost
crashed
got
out
into
on
a
this
fight.
so bad.
I literally almost crashed out on a friend of mine because we were watching it together and she's like, haha, the Arcane songs. I'm like, shut up! Stop! It's like, I don't care if the songs are direct, I don't care!
Also, like, I think it's, like, okay, a lot of people bring up, you know, and I do think that post is very funny because, yes, it is
funny.
true.
It's a funny post. I just was really irritated.
Like, a lot of people use that as a springboard to, like, criticize the soundtrack, and, like, obviously, okay, the soundtrack covers many...
The soundtrack's fire.
Yeah, wait, yeah. I'm like, first of all, okay, I totally get that, like, the entirety of the soundtrack spans a lot of different genres, and it's done by a whole bunch of different people, and if you didn't like some of those songs, fine, and if you didn't like most of those songs, also fine. But if the lyrics are direct and they fit with what's happening in the scene, then I don't necessarily think that's a problem. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's inherently bad.
Also,
like,
the media literacy crew has managed to screw up just about every aspect of what happens in this story. So maybe you do need to be told. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Like, I don't know.
I was about to say that!
That being said, I do think pretty much the entire soundtrack is fire. I don't think there's any song in the entire soundtrack that I, like, genuinely dislike.
Like, even the French song, I would not say objectively that is a bad song. I would just say I don't really like it.
You're just like, I've had enough. Okay, me.
But I don't think it's a bad, objectively, I do not think it's a bad piece of art. Like, I don't think there's any song in Arcane where I'm like, this... Actually, you know what? Is this a controversial opinion? I don't like the song that plays when Isha dies. I think it's not bad, but it just... I don't... Probably my least favorite in the soundtrack. Sorry to whoever made that, I'm sorry. But... I don't know.
I'm morally obligated to pick the Wood Kid song, because I was already a fan of their
stuff,
like,
yeah! I like that one, yeah.
Was that the Ashes and Blood?
Yes!
That song smacks! That song is so good!
Well, you should listen to his other albums, low-key.
Yeah. Honestly, I might have to.
Run, boy, run.
I think, okay, if we're complaining about Season 2, I will also complain, I think, like, I guess this might be controversial. This is actually probably controversial. I don't really love the way that Maddie's character was handled. I don't think she should have died. Because my thing is, like, everyone's... Okay, because, like, this is the Kate defense hour, so I will be your host, Tangle, and we will be defending Kate in this hour. So, my thing is, like, everyone's like, oh, Kate is bad, Kate is this. I'm like, honestly, I think Caitlyn should have been worse. Like, I don't think she was bad enough. Because my thing is, like, she loved her mom, and she did, like, everything she could to, like, try to be a good Piltover citizen and, like, do right by her mom and by the city and by the everybody. And, like, I don't think people understand how, like, drastic a death like that can be for somebody, because they're like, oh, well, she's just acting a fool. It's like, bro, her mom died in front, like, she watched her mom die. She saw her mom's dead body, and you're expecting her to be like, pip pip cheerio, Vi! Like, are you serious? Like, that's not a realistic reaction to anything. But, like, I very much would have liked to see, because, like, the point, like, in Season 1, Kate's character is very charming, but it's also very quote-unquote boring, because she's like she's rich, but, like, she's one of the good ones, and I very much would have liked to see her, like, kind of lean into her grief to the point where she became all the things that she never wanted to be, which, like, the show kind of does that, but, like, they didn't go far enough, in my opinion. But, like, Maddie, I think,
probably be fixed by that pacing issue. Not gonna
that's
lie.
what I did. See, you could have put that in there.
Yeah, because all she does is say, "Oh, hi, Cupcake," and then it's like instant. Oh, no, it was the other way around. I'm sorry. No, Vi says Cupcake, and then she swaps teams like instantly. I'm like,
it's girl. There's a lot. Okay, to be fair to that scene, there's a lot of nuance in that, because, like, you very clearly see that Caitlyn is a reluctant participant in most of what's going on. Like, she's very clearly, like, not being manipulated by Ambessa and, like, whatever. Not to excuse that, because, like, while I think that scene is freaking hilarious, like, I get what you're saying. But I think, like, because they show a lot of Caitlyn's, like, development, but they don't tell a lot, and I'm like, I think you should have told a little bit more. Because if you're not paying attention, it's very easy to miss, and it's very easy to, like, see scenes like that and be like, okay, well, why did that happen? But I think, like, if you understand where Kate is emotionally, it makes more sense. But again, they needed more time to, like, tell us that. Because I have more complaints about that, actually. But anyway, Caitlyn should have been worse, in my opinion. And I think part of that is Maddie, where, like, it's very much a, like Kate kind of gets off the hook when it comes to Maddie, because it's like, oh, well, she was a traitor anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because they, like,
blah, blah,
take
blah.
some of the stuff that was on Kate, and they, like, dump it onto Maddie out of nowhere. It's like, oh, Maddie was a traitor this whole time.
Yeah, like,
and,
oh, look, all the emotional complexity of this. It's gone. Like, oh, great.
That's
awesome.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think it would have been better if they had just played it straight, where, like, Maddie was kind of, like... Honestly, it would have been really interesting if they had played it in the sense where Maddie was kind of where Kate was in season 1, where she's, like, very much this, like, idealist, like, optimist, like, oh, I'm gonna make things better, and I want to make things better, and, like...
That's what I assumed she was.
Yeah, and, like, I would have liked to see, like... Not liked, but you know what I mean, but, like, I would have liked to see, like, Caitlyn slowly, like, kind of take advantage of that, and, like, kind of, like, not corrupt her, but, like, kind of manipulate her into kind of where Caitlyn is now, and, like, Caitlyn having to live with the consequence of that decision, I think would have been better than, making Maddie just, like, killing her off and just basically making her a villain.
Yeah, so, like, I think I've mentioned this idea to you previously, but, like, my initial... Because when I watched Act 1, my initial theory was that, Kate going off the deep end corruption arc-wise would end up getting Maddie killed, and that would be Kate's wake-up call. Like, do you see the vision in that?
Oh, yeah, that could have... Yeah, I would have liked that, too. Yeah, that would have been better. But, like, I don't think Maddie's character was handled well, but I think it's also, again, like, the issue with the Season 2 pacing. Like, I think maybe they could have even cooked the way it was if they just had more time to show us.
Yeah,
but...
like, a lot of the time I see people... Because, like, the three of us in this quote-unquote room are not the only people to bring up the Maddie criticism, but every time it comes up, there's always that one person who's like, oh, but and they foreshadowed it, and I'm like, I don't care whether or not they foreshadowed it, I think it was a bad choice. It doesn't matter to me if you planned for it.
I don't think it was a good, because, like, every other relationship and character, I feel like, in Arcane is so complex, and then this one is very, like, black and white, if that makes sense. And I'm like, that's not how y'all do it.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay that she got totally treated bad because she was evil the whole time. Like, alright.
Forget the fact she was Kate's rebound. It's like...
Yeah.
Which that's, like, I think that also could have been really interesting, because, like, Maddie kind of comes to the realization that, like, Kate does not actually care about her, and that she's, like, a rebound could have also been a very interesting, like, route to take. Like, even if you... I'm like, if you had to make her be a traitor, what you could have done was, like, have her be innocent at the beginning, and then realize that Kate doesn't love her. Be so heartbroken by that she goes to Ambessa and is like, listen, I'm gonna help you out because Kate is wilding, so let me be your whatever. Like, maybe you could have done that, and that would have been more interesting if you had to play it that way, but I'm like, And I think, like, the flaw... Like I said, I think Mel and Kate were the most impacted by the lack of pacing, because it's like... I understand that, like, a lot of Kate's choices were motivated by grief and anger, and I think if you watch it, you can see that, but I think, like, they definitely could have done more to show it. Because it's like, I'm assuming, and, like, Amanda Overton, please come correct me if I'm wrong, also, hi! But,
Lamau.
My thing was, like, Caitlyn very much regretted what she did to Vi, and you can see it the moment after she... Like, if you pause on her facial expression, she very clearly regrets it. And I think in her mind, she was never going to see Vi again, because, like, why would Vi ever want to see her again? Like, she carries a lot of guilt and shame for what she did. So, like, obviously, when she meets Vi again, and Vi says that to her, like, still... Because Vi never stopped loving her. I know Vi because Vi is me. So Vi never stopped loving her. Like, she never did. Like, I think she was very heartbroken and was like, I can't be with this person at this moment, but, like, Vi never stopped loving her. So when Caitlyn saw that Vi still had some sort of affection for her by calling her Cupcake, I think that kind of was her wake-up call, where she's like, wait, what the hell am I doing? Like, maybe I should stop doing this. And I think she wanted to prove to Vi that she could be trusted again, or that she wanted to be in her life again. Which, like, again, they very much could have paced it out a little bit more so that it's a little bit more obvious, because it's very subtle. And I think if you don't understand the characters, or if you're not paying as much attention, it very much seems like well, she just called her Cupcake and then she, like, switched sides. It's like, I don't think it's that simple, but I don't think they did a great job of, like, showing it. And honestly, I'm like, this keeps happening. My thing is, I love big emotional crash out moments, and I love the fallout of those, but I never get the satisfaction. These shows always pull punches. I'm like, obviously, like, they tried to do it with, like, Vi and Kate arguing, like, in that one episode, but, like, I want to see more. Like, I think Kate should, like, I want to see more. I want to see them, like, drag out, knock out argument, like, them saying, like, the most hurtful BS to each other, and then being like, oh, crap, like, I shouldn't have said that, and blah, blah, like, I want my emotional catharsis. I want it now. And there's so many shows where I'm like, you almost had it, and then you chickened out at the last minute, and I hate that. It makes me so upset. Like, bruh. Like, go on, like, if you were going to do this, you need to take it up to 11. Like, stop pulling punches. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go even farther. I'm going to defend the Sesbian Lex. So everyone, like, strap in, because, wait. Wait, no. Everyone pay attention, because I'm about to start talking. So, like, there was a lot of complaints about the scene from, I think it was episode 8. And while, like, if you are sex repulsed, that makes sense, and I'm not going to begrudge you that, I think, like, it kind of ignores the point of the scene. And, like, if you listen to Amanda, who wrote a lot of the Vi and Caitlyn stuff, if you listen to her talk about the scene, like, the point of the scene was not to be, like, you know, a wooga. Like, that wasn't the point of the scene. But, like, it was basically, like, and I understand this because I am Vi and Vi is me. Basically, like, obviously Vi gets trapped in the cell. She feels like she chose wrong by choosing Jinx because Jinx is gone, and once Caitlyn realizes what she did, it was going to be a repeat of what happened in the tunnel, because what else would she think? But when Caitlyn comes back and is like, hey, basically saying like, hey, I knew you were going to do this, and I left the choice up to you because I think I don't deserve to make the choice as to whether Jinx gets to live or die, and I think that should be your choice, and whatever choice you make, I would have been fine with it. And I think at that moment, Vi's like, oh, I am not alone in this. Like, I am not going to lose everyone that I care about. This person cares about me, and she cared about me enough to give up the thing that she wanted the most, which was vengeance on Jinx for me. So, like, and that's how Vi responded, is that because that's how Vi shows, like, her affection, her love for Caitlyn. And I'm like, it's kind of annoying to see everyone kind of boil it down to like, oh, they're having sex. It's like, well, like, even, like, biblically, sex means something. It's not, like, it's supposed to be an expression of love and commitment and desire. Like, it's not just, like, a thing that you do. So it's just very, like, that's very frustrating, because any way I defend it, I seem like I promise there is a narrative purpose of this scene. Like, even the writers are telling you there's a narrative purpose to this. But anyway, so, there you go. That's me defending the Sesbian Lex. So, there you go. There we go.
Alright.
Anyway. And I think even, like, there were a lot of people complaining about all of those scenes happening in the cell, because they're like, oh, well, Vi was, like, she was in prison, so it's, like, very disrespectful to what she went through. And I'm like, listen. Turn off your political brain rot for a second and notice that Arcane likes cyclical patterns. Caitlyn and Vi met in the cell. They consummate their relationship in the cell. It's a cyclical pattern. That's literally all it is. Like, it's not meant to be a commentary on the industrial prison complex or whatever. Like, dude. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. I was like, I came into this podcast being like, oh, I don't have anything to say. Came back, so. So, I don't know. That also crosses off my complaint about political brain rot people, because there were so many people in the fandom who are like, I wanted it to be about, like, you know, the Zon rising up and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know why you ever thought that the show was going to be like a primary theme of the show.
Yeah,
I don't know where you got that.
Finally, I have some thoughts on something. It was never about that. That was always, like, a background thing that was happening to give context to, like, the actual plot. It was never about that.
Yeah, because I'm like, everyone's like, oh, well, blah, 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 and I'm like, I don't think that's, like, a realistic, like, this isn't Disney. Like, they're not going to be like, and we saved the city. Like, it's very much not Arcane.
Isn't that kind of how it feels at the end, though, where it's like the two sides magically kind of get together to defeat the big bad? Because it does kind of read like that to me, personally.
I mean, not really, because they physically saved both cities, but, like, obviously there's still a lot of political between the two cities. Like, even Savika being appointed to the council doesn't fix everything. Like, it's a good step, but she's the only Zonite on the council, and obviously, like, the Piltovans still have some amount of prejudice against
No, yeah,
Zonites.
it's definitely performative in that sense, yeah.
But I think, like, it makes sense where it's like, if my city is going to be destroyed, if I don't do anything, it kind of makes sense that I would just stick around and fight with these people I really hate. And then I can get back to hating them. Like, it makes sense. But, like, I don't even think it was about that, really. I think, like, the Arcane was just supposed to be, like, a more, like, tangible threat rather than more of a, like, a psychological. Like, most of the plots in season 1 are very, like, grounded in reality, and, like, the Arcane plot is the thing that, like, kind of, like, takes it into, like, fantasy. So, I mean, maybe, but I think most people are like, oh, I think Zaun should have gotten its independence, or, like, everything fixed 2 cities, and, like, that's not, like, I just don't think that was gonna ever happen. I was never under the impression that, so, I don't know. And they're like, oh, they just use it as a prop for the story. I'm like, welcome to Storytelling 101, where you use things as... I don't know what you want. Like, I think you're just mad that the story did not focus on a thing that you wanted it to focus. Let me look at my list. I think I got through, like, a big chunk of that. Oh, anyway, I literally unfollowed someone earlier today because I didn't like Vi as a character. Because Vi got shooters out here, so...
Clearly.
Yeah. I love Vi as a character. I think she's probably my favorite character of anything of all, because, like, I have never felt so seen by a character. And the thing about Season 2 is, like, I think you can levy a lot of criticism at Season 2, but I think if you think that Vi's character arc was handled badly, I think you just don't understand her, because I think her arc makes sense, because, like, Season 1, she's very much the, like, you know, she's the one in charge, she's getting everything done, she's, like, strong, independent butch, don't need no lady, like, that's her character, like, she's the protector, she's that. But, like, I think what Season 2 actually does really well with her character is, like, kind of breaking that down, because, like, it kind of, like, obviously her being all those things in Season 1 are not bad, but I think the root of those things is a little unhealthy, because especially, like, you know, she's the oldest sibling, and, like, Vander's like, you gotta look out for your siblings, like, you have to be the one to, like, look after your siblings because they look up to you. And, like, that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, and, like, Vi is very much, like, parentified, I think, in Season 1, where she very much feels like Jinx is her responsibility, because even though Jinx is, like, technically grown, like, technically an adult at this point, but I think what Season 2 does really well is being like, Vi also needs support, she also needs help, and she needs, like, the space to be able to, like, be weak or emotional or, like, kind of have her own life. And it really frustrates me when people are like, oh, well, Vi didn't go after Jinx, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, how many times do you go after clearly does not want you to be there? Like, at what point does that become, like, codependent and unhealthy? Like, I don't know what to, like, I think if you think that Vi should have gone after Jinx locked her in the MF cell, I think there's something wrong with you. I'm not gonna lie. But I think Vi's character... What?
No, I found the setting. I was gonna wait for you to finish.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, because I think, like, especially as someone who relates to Vi, like, letting myself be more vulnerable and letting myself ask for help, like, the hardest part of existence. And I think people being like, oh, well, Vi's not punching people, she's not killing people, like, in season... It's like, okay, don't get it. Like, you clearly don't get what's happening here. It's very frustrating. But, like, obvious... And even in Season 2, it's like, eventually, like, Jinx ends up putting Vi over her own feelings, and then Kate ends up putting Vi over her own feelings. It's like, it's reinforcing... Both of them are reinforcing to her that, like, she is loved and she is valued, and, like... Even Echo being like, oh, well, she was the strongest person in Zaun, and, like, she was not afraid of anything, and then Jinx being like, no, she was afraid of everything, that's why she fought so hard to protect the things that she cared about. Like, that is the core of her character, is fearing that she cannot protect the things and the people that she loves. And it's like, if you understand that aspect of Vi's character, everything that happens to her in Season 2 makes sense, because it's like, even Amanda, again, shout out to Amanda, she talks about this, where it's like, who is Vi if she has no one to protect? And that's what Season 2 goes into as far as her character explanation. It's like, at this point, Vi has to reconcile with, like, what do I want out of life? What are my goals? Like, who am I? And it's like a very, I think it works really well for her character, and it's so frustrating being like, well, she was punching stuff in season 1. It's like, and you need a lobotomy. Like, I don't, bruh. Like, so frustrating. So frustrating.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The first thing I was going to say, because we were talking about the soundtrack, and I had, like, a whole mind thing that went away, but it came back. Mako is a person who worked on this soundtrack, who I have always loved his stuff, and he got to do a song. I think he did What Have They Done to Us? He's on that.
I love that song so much.
Because like sometimes when it comes to these people who make music, it's like you just like, you know, let them go. Give them a chance to make something cool. They'll make something cool. Like I said, I already loved his stuff going in. They like showed who was on the soundtrack before season 2 came out, and I saw Mako, and I was like, oh, I know he's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it, and he did indeed kill it. So I was like, let's go.
That is such a good song.
Yeah, but that was cool. But yeah, okay. Here's my second thing, which. On this podcast, this might be a controversial opinion. I know, Tango, you've heard me say this at least once. But as far as, like, I know for a fact that when this drops, the people in the comments are going to agree with me because it's just that overwhelmingly popular of an opinion. I think that as far as character designs go, right? If you're a Victor fan and you're upset with the changes that they did to his design to accommodate the role that he plays in the story, I understand why you're upset. And I respect it, but I'm not that upset about it. However, as a Warwick fan who waited for this show to drop, and then waited an additional however long it took between season 1 and season 2 for them to drop this, and me and all the other Warwick fans were very excited to see the uncaged wrath of Zon in the Arcane art style doing cool stuff, and were immediately let down because they veered off into this completely different thing that isn't the character that people liked in the first place. Terrible decision. It's not just even the snout. It's like, when you look, and I mean, I guess the editor can put it there, if you put a render of, like, Vanderwyck up, and then you put a render of, like, the actual character up, it's not faithful to the general design philosophy of the dog. Like, I'm not saying no changes. I'm never gonna sit down and be like, you can't change the design at all, because between, like, actual League and Arcane, they made a lot of design changes that were just objectively better. Like, go look at what Caitlyn looked like in the game before Arcane dropped, and then watch Arcane, and you'll understand what I mean.
Caitlyn and Vi got the biggest glow up. The design for Vi in League is terrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. But, like...
Yeah, and, like...
They pushed her the frick out in Arcane. It looks awesome! It looks great!
And, like, okay, the plans for Arcane to, like, be developed as a series, very old. Possibly even older than me playing the game, and I started playing the game, like, over a decade ago. But you can kind of tell with some of these characters, they were not designed with the plot of Arcane in mind. And Caitlyn and Vi, and honestly, even Jinx a little bit, they are all victims of that. But, like,
Jinx
specifically...
No, yeah, Jinx is literally just the what's-her-name ripoff.
Harley Quinn?
Yeah, she's kind of that before the
the
glow
thing is,
up.
though, like, before I make comic book people mad, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But, like, the thing is, though, I think Arcane did a really good job of, like, kind of keeping that, like, quote-unquote insane aspect of her character, but, like, kind of grounding it in something realistic. Rather than her being like,
it's two different versions of a character.
Like, and then, like,
gosh.
I guess, like, I don't technically have any space to speak on this because I'm not a comics person. I don't think I'll ever be a comics person. But I can't tell if, like, the common depiction of Harley Quinn is accurate to what her character is supposed to be, or if it's just kind of been run through the washer so many times that that's all we get now.
I don't know.
Like, I've only seen a little bit of animated Spider-Man.
Like, if you're, like, really into the comics and you're watching this, please sound off in the comments and tell me if that's what it is, because... Yikes. But anyway, back on my Warwick thing. So, I don't like this design at all, not even a little bit. And the very common thing that I hear in response to this is, oh, they changed the design so that it would humanize his character. But, in response to that, I would say, the reason why he had so many fans going into the show, and the reason why everyone was excited to see Vander become Warwick, is because the character, through the games, which remember, the only lore you see in the games is, like, a blurb on the character's page, and then voice lines they say to other characters. And Warwick has lines where he talks to Jinx, and Vi, and Caitlyn, and everybody else, and they humanized him enough with a paragraph and a voice delivery. And he was perfectly fine the way he was, and there was no reason whatsoever to change his design like that. Like, I just don't feel like...
It's an F-bomb, man.
Obviously, that needs to be censored, but, like, it kills me! Because it's like, okay, the only people who are allowed to share the same, like, issue are the Victor fans. Because for everybody else, they sat down and they consider, like, okay, what does this character's design need to say about them? What can we do when adapting between the game and the show to make sure that it accomplishes those goals while remaining faithful to the character's design? Every character in this show got a faithful and loving recreation that was accurate to the existing lore, to the Arcane lore, and to what was in the game, except for Warwick. Because even when they changed the stuff for Victor, it's not like it was these major things that you couldn't accommodate within, like, the switch between the game to the show. With Warwick, they just said, we're not gonna try. And I'm like, you can't do that for this one character that everybody loved this much. He was always just the dog. Just let him be just the dog.
I think, like, they just weren't furries. Like, I think that's just...
But I'm like, did you have to be, like, I'm opening my browser... and I'm going to the League Universe website, which is where they keep all the lore information, and I'm going to the Zaun page, and then I scroll down, and I press the button that says View All Champions, and then Warwick comes up, and you click on him, and if you scroll down a little bit, they have all these really cool little design concepts and such for his current design, because he didn't used to look like when the game launched, he looked very different. They reworked him. The reworked design is the one that they should have used, obviously. But the information is right there. Even if you're not a furry, take that and make a model of it. Like, y'all even got Heimerdinger right.
I'm not even like I would be one of those people who are like, I think the reason why they did it were these XXY reasons, but obviously I'm a furry. If I were to design Warwick for Arcane, I probably would have not necessarily done it that way, but like I get you. I'm not beefing, but
like and I will forever be pressed about this because I don't understand it. And first of all, I don't understand why they made the choice to begin with. I don't understand why Riot let them do it. I don't even understand why Tencent let them do it. How did you get through every step of this and nobody told you to stop? Like, I don't understand. This haunts me because everyone will be like, oh man, I really loved Arcane. I'm so glad about how my champion that I play got really well adapted and I just have to sit there and be quiet. Because Warwick is my favorite character. He's probably like the best depiction of what I think werewolves should look like just in general. And I didn't even get to have that. And the worst part is I didn't even get to have that even more. Because when you compare, like, okay, obviously Arcane is about Piltover and Zaun and the struggle between Piltover and Zaun, right? So the characters who are most central to that conflict, those are going to be the people who show up. And while not explicitly a criticism of the story, we couldn't get no cameos, bro. We couldn't get Dr. Mundo. We couldn't get Blitzcrank. We couldn't get, like...
Literally, if that rotund-looking robot showed up, it would look ridiculous.
But if they were to adapt, I guarantee it, right?
In my Arcane, dude.
Because my thing is this, right? The way that they very carefully adapted characters like Caitlyn and Vi to work, I think they could have done it. Even if he was just like a pile of scrap somewhere and he was just like a little cameo, you know?
I can see that, yeah.
There are characters where it's like they are not central to the political conflict, but they are victims of it. Like you have champions like Zack, who's just like a giant goo blob who lives in the sump and stuff like that. You have characters like Twitch who are like these psychotic little rats who like, they're at one with this like, you know, the I guess in Arcane they would call it like the Zaun Gray and the sewage and the filth. Like, these are characters I kind of would have liked to see, but I'm like, you know, season 1 ends, right? And I'm like, man, it's really a shame that all my favorite characters from Zaun we haven't gotten to see. But it's okay, because Warwick is coming, and I just know these character designers are gonna get him right. And I was wrong, and it kills me every day!
I really think it's like, they are not furry brained, so to them they're like, we gotta make it people, you know?
Like
they're also scared to animate creatures apparently.
Because like you notice like none of the more animal based characters like the Vastaya and like they're not that furry, you know?
It depends, because technically the Vastaya do include characters like Rengar, who is literally just an anthropomorphic cat. But still, point made.
But
like,
I could,
it's
like,
anywhere from like Set, who is a big muscly man with cat ears, to Rengar, who is literally just a cat. But your point is made.
Like, I think like the design philosophy ultimately worked against you, because like I noticed this pattern of even like the characters that are supposed to be more furry, like that are not people, are not really that furry, you know? So I think that was more of a like...
It's like more like a fae kind of design, I guess, where it's like kind of... It's more uncanny than it is quote-unquote furry.
Which like...
Damn!
As someone who makes things, I can see the struggle of being like, okay, if we put like a whole animal in here, will that mesh well with the aesthetic of the show? Like, I can kind of see that.
It's important to his lore. Like, okay, obviously, I just like werewolves, and that's where my original love of this character came from, obviously, duh. But, like, it is important to Warwick's lore that he's been, like, you know, torn apart, and he has no humanity left because of what Singed did to him. Like, it's part of the lore!
Also, I hate Singed. Everybody, all my homies hate Singed.
Also, I'm like, again... Look at the Heimerdinger model in the game, and then look at what they did to him in Arcane. It's actually great. It's genuinely better. Even, like, Singed, they did a really good job with, because his model is very old, and then, you know, they did a good job. They did such a good job.
Okay, I hear you. I receive that. I'm holding space.
But really, I genuinely think that is my only true criticism of the entire show. Otherwise, I'm like, yeah, that was cool.
But yeah. I think, like, even, like, there's just so many good things about the show. Like, I think even the conflict between, like, Jinx and Vi is really good.
Also, I feel like people trash on Season 2 a little bit too much. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like, I genuinely think, like, obviously, I have issues with Season 2, but, like, even watching it again and again, I'm like, this is still good. It's just not as good as it could have been. You know?
Yeah, like, I don't literally earlier today, I was seeing people, like, comment on, you know, the Season 2 of Arcane. I'm like... am I just, like, a little soft in the head? I thought it was okay. Like, okay, yes, I see that they were definitely having some issues with, like, okay, this was rushed and that was rushed. But outside of that, I was like, I think they delivered relatively well. Maybe not perfectly, but relatively well. If you only knew about Arcane from, like, people reacting to Season 2 on Twitter, you would swear that it was just not, like, awful, like, unwatchable garbage. And I'm like, I just don't agree.
No, I mean, honestly, I think Season 1 is more solid, like, pacing-wise. I honestly prefer Season 2 because that's where, like, the payoff of a lot of that characterization from Season 1 comes from. And I like how the characters change in Season 2. And I think, like, my frustration is that, like, I know what Arcane can be, and they didn't quite hit it, and that's where my frustration is. But I think what we got was, like, it's still very good TV. Like, I don't think... Like, I think the people who are like... oh, it's terrible. Like, it's not terrible. It definitely is flawed. I will definitely give you that. I'll be the first one to point out all the things that I think are wrong about Season 2, but, like, it's still good. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And, like, some people are just mad that the characters changed, and I'm like, that's what stories do. Like, if the characters didn't change, I would actually complain more.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that my thing is that, because when it comes to Season 2 and my criticisms with the pacing, is that, because there are certain... like media where the pacing is off, but it doesn't bug me as much. Because when it comes to Arcane, it's a big chunk of it is that it's a political drama. And what makes Season 1 so good is that it takes its time. Like, political drama, if you rush it, you that's not a genre you can rush. Like, let's say, an example I can pick up of a show that has, like, pacing issues, but I don't mind as much, would be the first Castlevania show. I don't know if either of you... I know Tangle hasn't watched it. I don't know if Sid has.
I haven't.
But
I've been told to.
Okay. So with that one, for whatever production, whatever reason, like, they kind of rushed through certain things. But because a good chunk of the show is just, like, character banter and action sequences and cool animation, it's not as... It does have story moments.
Moments and aura.
It's definitely much, much more of, like, an aura show and, like, these smaller character moment kind of show that I don't mind that it's, like piece like that. It doesn't bug me nearly as much. Except Season 3. I don't like Season 3. Don't talk to me about Season 3.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it's weird because, like, I watched both seasons through a couple times just to be like, okay, like, if I just watch this as all the way through, how does it feel? And I'm like, honestly, I don't really notice the pacing issues until about Act 3, I think is where it kind of falls apart. But even then, I never... Like, again, I really wish that they had taken... Like, when they announced, like, second season Arcane last season, I'm like, there are going to be problems. Like, there are just going to be problems, because Arcane does not seem like a 2-season show. And I think, like, my main criticism of the show, I'm like, this should have been at least 3 seasons, because a lot of issues that people have with the show, they probably wouldn't have had if you just had paced it out a little bit slower. So, like, it doesn't quite stick the landing in the way that I really would have liked, which is the disappointing part for me. But, like, I don't know, watching season 1 and season 2 all the way through, like, I don't notice. Like, it's not that noticeable to me. Like, I think after I finished watching it and I was, like, kind of, like, going over it and, like, thinking about it again, I'm like, these things should have been done better. But I think, like, even in the moment watching it, I was like, well, it feels okay. Like, it doesn't feel... It didn't feel bad watching it, but I still... There was just a lot of payoff that wasn't as payoff-y as it could have been because it was rushed, but... And I think also, like, the issue was... Like, based on what Riot is saying, and I don't know how trustworthy or accurate what they're saying is, but, like, apparently the show was always meant to be 2 seasons, and I'm like, I think, like, y'all should have given it another... Like, I really think if that was the plan, you either needed to cut the arcane, like, the magical bits out, or you needed to, like, make it 3 seasons. Like, I genuinely, like, that's... Sorry. Like... Because I think the magic aspect of it is probably the weakest part of the show because of the pacing. So I'm like, if you had cut that out, I think it still could have worked. Like, it still could have worked. But I'm like, I'm very adamant that the show should have been 3 seasons. And I think it would have been near perfect if they had 3 seasons, at least. But, yeah.
Heck yeah. Also, like, this is not... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, I think, like... But I do like season 2. Like, I don't think it's as good on a technical level as season 1, but I do kind of prefer season 2.
I bet.
Yeah. I think that was my list.
Can I steal the spotlight just for a second regarding?
Go ahead. I've talked so much.
Look, it's my turn for the talking stick, please.
Go ahead, do it. Do your thing.
I was gonna say, because the one thing, or one of several things, that I did enjoy out of season 2 is that I was, like, shocked at how much my opinion on Echo and Jinx changed. Because when I went to go rewatch season 1, I didn't like Jinx very much. I mean, as a character, I'm like, okay, I understand the character. Or I'm like, ooh, she's like off the rails. Okay. Ooh, okay. But when it came to Echo, like, he existed as a character. I'm like, okay, he's neat, like, very neutral. And then in, like, season 2, this guy, like, shoots to the top of my favorite character list, like, instantly, out of nowhere. I'm like, who is this kid? He is that guy.
He's him.
And then, like, they find this way... He's him. And they find this way to humanize Jinx in a way that it's just... I have, like, thoughts on the whole Isha thing, because I kind of still feel like, I know that, you know, Arcane is a dramatic show, terrible things happen. I almost feel like that Isha coming in, being, like, you know, this beacon of hope, and then, like, dying all of a sudden. I'm sure that, like, you know, again, pacing could have helped, you know, ease some of this. I just feel kind of mixed on the Isha execution, but at the same time, something just clicked, seeing them interact and seeing them just... It's like... It's interesting, because you see Jinx trying to be what Vi was to her.
Yes!
But at the same time, you like for a good, like, episode or two, we got, you know, like, the trio, and that was Sevika. The fact that we've gone this far, and I haven't had a chance to talk about Sevika as a crime, actually.
Oh, yo!
Because you have Sevika, and you have Jinx, and then you have the problem child. And, like most of the stuff that I see that's, like super good stuff is, you know, the fandom picking up the pieces and giving us all that good kush that we didn't have a chance to get because, you know, we had to cram everything into, like, 3 episodes. Yeah. But, yeah, gosh, they're so good. And then, like, seeing those bits where Sevika and, like, Jinx have their beef, you know, because in season 1, they're basically, like, I don't want to say they're fighting over Silco. No, Jinx is the one that's fighting over Silco's attention. Silco is like Savika is like, who is I have to put up with my boss's weird like child, and that's it's a very entertaining what's it called? It's a very entertaining like crime boss kind of drama we get only in season 1, and we get like a taste of it in season 2 when there's like the montage where they're fighting over there's like the 3 gangs and they're fighting, and then we get like nothing of the gangs. That makes me sad. We should, like I said, that would have been a season 2 thing, if we got the whole extended thing going on. Oh gosh, I'm jumping from point A to point B. I don't know where I'm trying to land right now, but my point is that the bits and pieces that we got of those characters in season 2 made me really appreciate them. And then, Savika, Renegade, Scalp Pilgrim, scene. That's that is honestly probably my favorite scene out of season 2 is just her beating the tar out of someone with her weird arcade arm while like one of the best songs I've heard is blasting.
It's so good. It's so good. Such a good song. Yeah, that's why I like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No.
I was gonna say I was gonna try and go back on a tangent on like Jinx and Isha. Is that Jinx? I'm realizing I'm contradicting myself because now as I'm saying this, I'm articulating probably why Isha was kind of doomed from the start is because she was looking up to Jinx. Jinx was trying to be an example of the way how Vi was, but Jinx is not a good example for the most part. And Isha's imitating, this crazy lady, and then of course she goes and does the thing, and that's what makes her sacrifice so tragic, because the sacrifice accomplishes literally nothing.
Yeah, it's enough to save them, but like at the end of the day, Warwick still exists, and he's like, and Vander's just lost forever. So it's like,
I gotta say though. Oh god.
Oh, I was gonna say, to piggyback of what you were saying about Isha, like I think Isha is so important as like I'm thinking like on a meta level, but like she's so important as a character because it allows Jinx to empathize with Vi in a way that I don't think she would have been able to if she hadn't gone through everything she had with Isha. Because like obviously Jinx was very upset that Vi wouldn't let her go to like save Vander and stuff, and it's like I think once Isha died, like it clicked for her, like, oh, that's why Vi made the decisions that she made, and like that this is how she might have felt if I had, if she had let me go and all this other stuff. So like it's so important because like Jinx gets to be put in Vi's shoes in a way, and I'm like, it's so good, it's so freaking good. But that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, okay.
Also, I love you, Savika. I love you.
Like
Savika.
Okay, watching that through the first time, I just genuinely didn't think they had the balls to kill Isha off until like the moment they actually did it. But apparently this was like a very obvious thing that everybody else saw coming. So I was like, okay, sure, I guess.
I didn't necessarily see it coming, but when it happened, I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
It was very similar to like when we saw. Okay, spoilers for How to Train Your Dragon 2, in case I shouldn't care, but this movie is very old at this point. But spoilers anyway. Up until the moment that they were like, oh, Stoic is dead, I was like, nah, they ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it. They won't do it.
I was in shock.
It was literally that, but like with Isha, because I was like, they ain't gonna do it. I don't believe it. And then they did it. I was like, all right.
Yeah, also, like, going back to season 1, like, the Silco, Jinx, Savika, like, that whole, like, the way that the Zaun characters, like, interconnect and, like, all their relationships are so complex, like, Silco and Vander. Also, if you ship Silco and Vander, you need to be committed. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. You do. Like, that's really weird, because they're very clearly meant to be a parallel to Jinx and Vi, so it's like, they're very sibling-coded. Stop doing that.
I'm with you, man. Like, you gotta go if that's your thing. You gotta go. I'm sorry.
Alright, you gotta go.
I'm sorry. Like, you gotta go.
But it's like, it's so interesting. Like the relationship between like Vander and Silco, like Silco and Jinx, Vander and Jinx, Vi, and like it's like there's so many interconnected pieces, and it's just so freaking good. Also, like. The like that one line where it's like, is there anything so undoing as a daughter? Like literally the most fire line of all time. Like whoever wrote
the reason why
like,
season 2 didn't hit is because Silco wasn't there. That's my take.
In this essay, I will.
Because like we see echoes of like what Silco left behind, but I think that's something that very much wasn't explored as much as it could have been.
We see, huh?
Like, because obviously, like when Silco dies, all of the factions in the Undercity are like, okay, well, like the Kingpin is gone, so like who's in charge? So it's very much a like scramble for power thing that's very interesting. And, like, they do obviously bring back Silco when Jinx is having her, like, you know, psychosis moment, which is very interesting, but, like, it's like a double, I don't know, I have conflicting feelings, because I think it's very interesting that, like, Silco dies and we don't directly see him again. I think that's very interesting as a story choice, but at the same time, I'm wondering if, like, maybe kind of teasing, like, his influence a bit more would have helped. But, like, either way, I'm like, I could see both ways, but, like, he's a very fascinating character. I love him. But I love all the Arcane characters. Like, I don't think there's a character that I don't like except for Singed, but I will still defend him on a story basis.
Bro, it's just ugly.
Because, like, I think, like, Caitlyn learns a lot from him, in the sense where it's like, how could you do all these horrible things, blah, 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 and he's like, oh, I did it for love, and it's like, that's a mirror to her own experience. Like, she did all of these things, all these bad things in season 2 because she loved her mom, and, like, that's the result of her own grief, and seeing Singed reflect her own, basically, hypocrisy back onto her is, like, fascinating to me. But anyway.
You know what's interesting is that, because, like, you know how we talk about how, you know, people hate on Kate, but then they'll go to bat for Jinx?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna preface this with, like, I forget a lot of the details in season 2, but the one thing I do remember
for you, don't worry.
I remember she freaking smoke bombs the whole city, which is literally domestic terrorism, including the fact that she blew up Parliament as well.
Right.
But like, people will defend her behavior when literally, like, probably one of the biggest things about her story is that, you know, if you ascribe to the she survived theory or whatever, is that she knew that she had to start over. Because there's literally no way she can get out of this consequence free, because she has blood on her hands. She's harassed an entire city. Girl has like a whole laundry list of, like, terrible things she's genuinely done. People will find a way to, like, make up excuses for her, which is so bizarre to me. Like I said,
because she's from Zaun.
When I rewatched season 1, I went, "Wow, Jinx is kind of a little turd. She's genuine. Like, I just didn't care for her." But, you know, then in season 2, it's like something. I kind of want to say things kind of snap a little too soon. Almost, I feel like that when Isha kind of grounded her, I felt like it kind of happened. It's hard to say. Now all of my specific thoughts are, like, slowly coming back to me, since it's been like a year or more since I watched season 2. I felt like Isha almost grounded her too much in comparison. Like, the show was deliberately trying to get us to root for Jinx more than we would have otherwise. And I feel like that may have worked on the fandom just a little bit too much.
Because they just don't have, like, reading comprehension. They're like, oh, well, Jinx is from Zaun, which means, like, she's the uwu oppressed baby, so everything she does doesn't matter. And it's like, she is the domestic terrorist. She has manipulated Vi, and she beat the crap out of Echo. Like, are you serious?
Media literacy crew strikes again.
Like, bruh. And it's like, I liked Jinx in season 1, so I'm not even saying it as like I don't like Jinx. Like, I don't condone anything that she did, but I've always found her a fascinating character.
You don't like what marketing does to Jinx, I'll tell you that.
I don't. I do not. Because, okay, like, also, the thing about the time bomb thing is, like, my issue with, like, fandom in general, where it's like, listen, I think a lot of people think that I think shipping is bad. I don't think shipping is inherently bad. But the issue with one, shipping being in things, and also, like, the official media pushing it, is that people will tunnel vision, and, like, these characters will no longer exist outside of the shipping. And that's really frustrating for me, because I think, obviously, Jinx is not my favorite character, but I really appreciate her as a character, and I think she's very interesting and very complex as a character. But as soon as you start pushing the time bomb, all she exists as is, like, Echo's BPD girlfriend. And I'm like, can we not do that? Can we not do that? And it does a disservice to Echo, too, because I'm like, he's also a very interesting character on his own, but as soon as the French song comes out, he's just like, this dude, he's Jinx's long-suffering neurotypical boyfriend. And I'm like, that's not what the characters are, though. Or at least that's not all of what the characters are, though. And that's very, like, to me, that's frustrating, because, one, if you have to argue that the show is about a pair of people, the show is about Jinx and Vi. It is about the core of the show, the emotional core of the show is their relationship. So the fact that marketing is like, we're gonna get all the relationship idolater, brain rot, dopamine money, like, that's annoying to me, because that's not what even the show is about. Like,
aren't they saying that they might touch on Echo and Jinx's story again? Which is...
And I'm like, don't.
No, the thing is that literally in the show, the whole point is that Echo has to let Jinx go. Jinx has to go do her own thing. So if they find a way to, like, force them back together in order to have, like, our hee-hee, like the typical het couple or whatever, it's like, that defeats the purpose of what their relationship is supposed to mean narratively.
Yeah, I'm like, Riot, I will be in your walls.
Yeah.
Don't touch nothing.
Let's just not, you know?
Because it's like, I don't dislike the ship, but it's like, I like it because of its narrative purpose. So as soon as it goes into La La Land, it loses the appeal or the impact of what it actually is. And that's why I hate the marketing, because I'm like, I hate this thing where characters are just reduced to who they want to frick, dude. Like, I don't like it. Like, even, like, Caitlyn and Vi, as characters, they have individual arcs that work without them even if they were never a couple, they still work as characters. And, like, the relationship, like, narratively strengthens those things. It doesn't take away from those things. It's like, bruh, like, y'all need to do something else. Like, please.
Yeah, and okay, short aside on shipping culture in general, and I really hope there's a podcast episode where I get to really go into this, but, like, it kind of ruins everything. Hear me out.
It does. You're so right, bestie. Go off.
Because it's like, on one hand, you have that problem that you just described where it's like, okay, regardless of how you feel about Time Bomb, it is not the main point of Arcane, which you pretty much just said. But because it's a ship that people like, both of those characters, like you said, have essentially been, like, stripped of whatever made them interesting and just forced into, like, you know, generic hee-hee shipping content. Now, it's also bad if it happens to the two characters, because, like, okay, like, imagine for a minute, if you will, a show that centers around two characters and the two main characters end up together, right? This is bad for them as well, because on one hand, yeah, that's the canon pairing and whatever, and you can do all your hee-hee shipping content. On the other hand, when you want to discuss one character or the other separate from the other, everyone is completely incapable of doing so, and it's extremely frustrating.
Yes, like, they're no longer characters, they're just like a means to get dopamine for you, and I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah, and it's like, nope.
It's like,
it's like
watch,
this, right?
Oh no, sorry, go ahead, sorry.
It's like this. It's like, okay, I watched a media, or, like, played a media, or whatever, it doesn't matter. I consumed some media. Oh, I liked that thing. Let me go, like, you know, engage with, you know, discussion, fan art, fan fictions, whatever, or, you know, surrounding that media. You will almost certainly struggle to find anything that's, like, just one character, or something that explores just one character's mentality, or anything like that. Because, yeah, or, like, the major themes of the media. You won't be able to find any of that, because it's just, everyone just wants to talk about shipping, and then it's like, okay, you get to this point where it's like, okay, I am retweeting, or, like, reposting, you know, reblogging, I don't know, whatever. I'll retweet art of, like, okay, yeah, I like that ship, I like those characters, I'll retweet it, but it's like, I can't find anything of just the one character because they've been squished into the shipping box, and it almost makes me look like I'm also shipping brain poisoned, but it's like, I'm just engaging with what's there, you know what I mean? It's
I get you.
It's a whole thing.
I'm like, whenever there's a romance in something, I just, like, internally groan, because it doesn't matter how well or how badly it's done. I know as soon as I log the frick on, I'm just gonna, like, not be able to escape it. Which, like, I don't know if we want to do a whole episode for K-pop Demon Hunters, but, like, my whole issue with, like, the K-pop Demon Hunters fandom is, like, when I log the frick on, either all I see is Rujinu, or I see Polytrix, and I'm like, the movie is not about either of these things, actually.
Yeah.
So...
I don't even know, like, okay. I don't know if K-pop Demon Hunters has enough stuff to talk about to fill its own episode, but I do hope that we get the chance to talk about it, though. But regardless, you're totally right, because I'm like, okay, my favorite character is Zoe. Good effing luck finding content of her that's just about her. It's not going to be about her. It's going to be about Polytrix. And I'm like...
Your favorite character is Rumi. Good luck, bro!
Right?
Good luck!
And the same thing happened, where it's like, is anyone interested in discussing anything that is not Rujinu?
No.
Like, I'm not saying we can never discuss that, but, like, can we talk about anything else? And the answer was a resounding
honestly,
no.
I don't even like Rujinu, so I'm like, I'm just kind of screwed either way.
Yeah,
so,
you just lost out on this one, because these people are crazy.
I'm like, bro,
also, is it
I'm
just
so
me?
Annoyed. And it's like, I'm not even, like, against, like, I think a lot of people will assume that I'm, like, aromantic or something. I'm really not, but it's like, there are just more things in life. Like,
also, like, is it just me, or has shipping culture in general, like, at least compared to when I was younger, it feels like it's a lot more, like, intense and obsessive than it used to be.
I think that's just culture as a whole. Everything's obsessive now.
Yeah, you might be right, but I'm like, dang, man, like, we gotta calm down, you know what I mean?
And not to mention, speaking of shipping culture, like, J-Vic has, like, almost completely eclipsed the fandom, which, like, really pisses me off for, like, a variety of reasons.
You're so right.
And they're so aggressive, it's like, girl!
Right? That's what I was about to say.
You're outside of the house! Nothing you are saying is actually in the story!
He said bro thinks he's on the team.
Like, bro is not on the team. Bro is outside of the stadium, 50 yards away, by court mandate. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, because, like, okay, I would consider myself to be a casual fan of Arcane. I watched the show, and I was like, okay, neat, and then, I went on. But I'll, like, okay, because I use Twitter as my poison of choice. I'll be on Twitter all day. Like, this is around the time when Arcane was, like, just finishing up, so, like, everybody got an opinion or something. If you drew fan art of Jace or Victor, there's someone in the comments going, J-Vic! If you draw fan art of any other pairing, there's someone in the responses going, J-Vic! And then, like, you get to the point where, like, okay, the official licensed merchandise is coming out. So, like, your U2s and your blind boxes and your official, stuff on the Riot Games store merchandise. And you look in the responses, and it's people foaming at the mouth talking about J-Vic, and I'm like, your thing isn't even real. Like, you sitting in the comments demanding merchandise when your thing isn't even real is crazy work.
And you know what? I think
there is plenty of con artists doing that for you already. Like, chill out.
For real.
I think there is, like, a Jason Victor U2s, and I'm like, don't do that, because you're going to give them hope that this is real. And it's like, they're either ship baiting you, or this is completely platonic. I don't know, but I'm like, it's not in the show!
Yeah, there was a point, because, I don't fully remember this, so if I'm getting my details wrong, comment section, feel free to correct me. But as I recall, they had done a Mel J U2s, and every single response was them being like, you have to do J-Vic, I can't believe this, I can't believe that you would ignore, and a bunch of accusations of bigotry, and, this and that, but I'm like...
Canonically, this pairing has had sex, like, what is wrong with you? Like, what? I need you to, like, get real, bro.
He gave her the hammer, bro. I can't, like...
I can't say what I'm gonna say. I want to say, but like, Jace is a good dude. He's a good dude. He knows.
I know.
He knows what to do. You know.
Or what you would have said. Yes.
I can't say it though, so I'm not gonna. But good on you.
But I'm like,
So I'm like, listen, like on the DL, I don't even really like straight ships that much, but I'm like, bro, like, how can you not like? It's so great because like Jace is like. He's like the man of progress and blah 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 blah, and like when he's with Mel, he's like so soft and vulnerable. I'm like, okay, man, like I'll buy a ticket. Okay, like I'm here. Like, all right, like I was gonna say no. Like,
I'll buy a ticket. I can't. But yeah, no, the marketing team is equally as much at fault. Because like, okay, I have seen this happen in other fandoms, and the best thing to do is to completely ignore these people and pretend like they don't exist.
When you are done, I have things to say. I forgot.
And it's like, because you failed to do that at every single turn, they just got more feverish and annoying. And that was just like the worst possible way to play it. But what were you saying?
I was gonna say, my issue, like, merch team, I am in your walls. Because why, like, listen, I understand that Jinx is historically a intensely popular League character. I get it. But consider that, like, there is overlap between League fans and Arcane fans, but there are so many Arcane fans that have never played the game and probably never will, and they're equally willing to give you money. So, like, why don't we merchandise the main characters? Like, God forbid, it's like the meme with, like, the lady and the kid above the water, and then it's, like, the guy, the skeleton in the chair, like, at the bottom of the pool. It's like, if you like Caitlyn or anyone else that isn't, like, Echo or Jinx, you're not getting anything. You get nothing. And I'm like, and I get some stuff. Like, I have a shirt that has her on it, and I'm probably gonna buy another shirt with her on it. But I'm like, she barely has any merch, despite the fact that her and Jinx are arguably the main characters of the show. And I'm like, and like, good luck finding anything of Caitlyn. There is nothing. There's like one shirt, and I didn't even like the design, so I didn't buy it. So like,
yeah.
And even other characters like Savika and like, there's so many very strong characters that I think people would generally buy merch for, and there is just nothing. And there is nothing.
If it makes you feel any better, and it probably doesn't, but like, if it makes you feel any better, Riot has always had this problem with merchandising where it's like, why do you keep making this merchandise nobody want to buy? You know what I mean? Like, they always have been like that, and it's really weird.
That kind of makes me feel
buy
better,
our $100 Jinx skin instead.
Yeah, they'll like, oh my god, okay, I haven't played League of Legends in a while at this point, but I remember,
that way.
Good luck, but I remember they did like a $500 Ari skin or whatever, and I'm like, why are you always doing stuff like that? And not just, like, making t-shirt designs that people like. You know what I mean? Like, their whole merch layout is always, like, a perfect one-to-one replica of some jewelry item that a character wears for, like, $100 and something, right? And then, like, a couple t-shirts that are just existing renders and you just slapped it onto a shirt and asked me for money. And then they have, like, the unlocked statues, which are actually genuinely pretty cool, like, stylized statues of characters from the game, and then just, like, these hyper-expensive statues that nobody in their right mind want to buy. Like, that's not how you merchandise.
They don't even have statues of, like, Arcane Caitlyn, Arcane Vi, like, I don't even think they have it.
No, I don't think those well, okay. I'm looking right now.
Like, Jinx and Vi.
Let's see. I'm looking only for Arcane stuff, so not stuff from the game. Warwick has one. We know how I feel about that. I see one for Jinx. I see another one for Jinx. Let's see.
I'm about to have an aneurysm.
There's one for Jinx and Vi, but this isn't tagged as Arcane, so I can't tell if this is supposed to be Arcane merchandise or not. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you don't like Echo or Jinx and maybe Vi, you get nothing. You have no merch. And I'm like, are you serious? Because, like, even I would love to buy something of, like, Ambessa or, like, freaking Mel or something. Like,
Ambessa life-size figurine in my life is yours.
Okay, I see. Also, I love the frick out of Ambessa. I don't care. Like, I was watching it with my friend. She's like, I don't like Savika because she's mean and she's evil. I'm like,
being mean and evil is like the best thing a character can be, though.
You need to support women's wrongs. I don't know what's wrong with you.
I'm crying.
Or like Ambessa, like, she's like, oh, she's manipulative. Like,
yes.
I love big, evil, strong women.
Can you believe that was the point? Was for her to be manipulative.
Do you have eyes? Bruh, crazy. I fear. Also, like, not to be woke or whatever, but one of the things I actually really love about Arcane is that, like, the way that they portray their female characters is very, like, more realistic and down to earth, you know? Like, they're all people, and, like, some of them are more feminine and some of them are more masculine, but they're all, like, people, you know? Like, they all have unique motivations and personalities and designs, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. I like it. And, like, even the male characters, too. Like, they don't necessarily, like, all the characters are, like, good. Like, they're all good, and I love that. I'm like, I think more media should do this.
Listen, they couldn't handle Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time. Do you think they could handle anything worse than that?
Fair.
Oh my gosh. If there's ever an Adventure Time episode, I have things to say, because good lord.
I am due for a rewatch of Adventure Time, TBH.
I have to rewatch it for a video, so...
Yeah. I've it's like Arcane in the sense where I've rewatched it like 5 more billion times. I could go for it again. But, like, the whole, like, Princess Bubblegum thing, it's like, she was never really my favorite character watching, but, like, I think as I've gotten older and I've rewatched the show, I'm like, she's definitely one of the better written characters or more complex characters in the show. But, yeah, the way people treat her in fandom is so annoying sometimes. It's just, I don't like fandom. I think that's what I'm learning. Like, for me, like, not to be the no fun allowed guy, but for me, like, when I enjoy something, I want to, like, talk about what's actually there, or like if I talk about things that aren't in the show, I want to extrapolate it from like a canon event or personality trait or moment. But like a lot of people just kind of approach fandom as either like shipping brain rot, or they're just like, they mangle the characters beyond all recognition. And they're like, see, I love the show, but it's like, do you? Do you really?
Listen, man, the worst thing in the world...
You don't seem to know what's in it.
The worst thing in the world you can experience is when people like your favorite character for the wrong reason. Or, like, it's very obvious that they don't actually understand the character. That's awful.
Yeah, it's just...
Truly
bad.
one of the worst experiences.
Like, fandom is so freaking terrible. And it's like, if we ever make something, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this without crashing the frick out.
I am telling you, as a person who has access to knowing what some of these future projects look like, these fandoms are gonna be a mess. I can think of one in particular. It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. It's fine. I'm making it for me. It's actually for me, so it doesn't matter. But fandom is just so terrible. Like, and it shouldn't be. Like, I feel like it just should not be this terrible.
Yeah, no, like, okay, Tangle, you're aware of my current thing that I'm currently obsessed with, and it's like, I can't stand you people, because, like, when I'm really interested in something, I want to know everything about it. I want to know everything about who made it. I want to know about all their previous works. I want to know about their inspirations, every little detail you can give me about the thing, every tiny little insanely specific detail about the characters, and then you go to talk about it, and everyone's just like, shipping and porn. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is not what I came here for. I want to talk about, like, the themes of this show, and this specific episode, and this theory about that, and you're just like, shipping and porn. Like, I'm just tired, man.
Okay, we're almost at 2 hours, which
we should probably cut it.
I definitely kind of expected for this episode because I had so much to say. Yeah.
Watch
so
our follower.
Huh?
I'll say watch our follower count like cut in half after this.
Everything.
It's weird because like.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say because it's like because when we posted the Pokemon episodes, I wasn't expecting them to get as much attention, but like, pissing people off is a great way to get attention. Is it positive attention? Probably, maybe not, but it is attention, so we might be just doing that.
Every person that Tangle made mad with her takes, I fixed it with mine.
What'd you say?
It's that every person that Tangle made angry with her takes, I fixed it with mine. We're good.
Bruh. So, but yeah, Arcane is really good, and if you haven't watched it, you should not have watched this episode, but if you do watch it, yeah.
If you somehow have gotten to the end of this episode, and you haven't seen the show yet, then maybe you should go watch it with the context of everything we've just said. Maybe it will make it very interesting for you.
And then you can develop the right opinions about it.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, I love Arcane, and I am excited for the Noxus show. I'm just scared. Also, I'm just sad that, like, if I never see Vi again, bro, I'm gonna jump off a bridge.
Well, because here's my problem, right? Okay, let me just do this one thing, right? As the resident League lore knower, here's my problem, right? They're gonna do the Noxus thing, which is probably, they've spent a lot of time talking about, the Black Rose and the this and that. You cannot tell the Noxus story without addressing their ongoing conflict with Demacia and their ongoing conflict with Ionia. And I don't want to see the ongoing conflict with Ionia, because so many of the Ionian characters are animals, and if you do what you did to Warwick to them, I might have to just quit.
Is Caitlyn from Ionia, though?
I don't know.
I think she has Ionian ancestry.
I don't know. As far as the game is concerned, she is considered a Piltover champion. So if her lineage goes somewhere else, I don't know.
Again, it's like I can't tell whether this is a really good headcanon that somebody made up or like something that I read somewhere that was like canon, but like as far as I'm aware, she is part Ionian. I don't know that for sure because I'm not a League lore guy, but
yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I think she's part Ionian. I'm pretty sure. I really could be wrong though.
Also, did anybody notice how Seraphine did not make an appearance in Arcane?
I mean, I think it really would have pissed people off.
Is that the knives lady person?
No, that's the pink-haired, totally not a K-pop star character that they added. Because also, her whole thing is like, oh yeah, she's gonna try to unite Piltover and Zaun with her songs of unity, and I'm like, yeah, try that in Arcane, see how far that goes.
Isn't that basically like Shakira's character in Zootopia?
I mean, honestly, kind of. I mean, when you describe it that way, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, that would have been silly. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, that's very Disney to me.
Like, she definitely did not make an appearance, and the reason why is probably because how are you ever, like, first of all, how are you going to take that character seriously in this context? And 2, that would never have worked. So, you know.
I do want a KDA show, though. My life for a KDA show.
I don't know what the heck the plot would be.
It would have to be probably more slice of life, or more like, probably more like K-pop Demon Hunters.
I was about to say, honestly, the best.
I feel like Carol and Tuesday would be your jam then, from what little I know.
Yeah, no,
maybe. I've heard of it, I just haven't seen it.
Like, if I was gonna do something with KDA, it would probably have come out very similar to K-pop Demon Hunters, because within the KDA skin line lore, they are still... Okay, everybody except Akali. Akali is just there. Everybody else is still some kind of, like, mystical creature. So it would probably definitely be, like, you know, them balancing the fact that they are absolutely not human, juxtaposed with, like, them being K-pop stars. Because, like, Evelyn is a demon, Ari is a spirit, and Kaisa is basically an alien, and Akali is just there. So I'm like, okay.
My kingdom for Akali!
But yeah.
I love Akali.
Actually, you could probably do some... I mean, it would have to be slice of life, but you could probably do some really interesting stuff with, like, the group forming, and then, like, the pop stars release... There, oh, did I really? Am I back now?
Did we lose her?
I'm right here.
No, I can hear her.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I couldn't hear you for a bit.
You could probably do some really interesting stuff with, like, how the group formed, because all 4 of those champions are from, like, actually, Ari and Akali, I believe, are from the same region, but, like, all 4 of those champions come from 4 different places, so it'd be really interesting to, like, 1, adapt that to the real world, because KDA is supposed to take place in the real world, and then do the thing about their debut, and then do, like, you know, slice of life stuff about some sort of, you know, the conflict between, like, okay, there's KDA, Akali goes and founds True Damage, which is not KDA, but she's in both, and then there's also Heartsteel has to fit in there somewhere. That would be very interesting. Right? Yeah, Pentakill also. Oh, even though I think Pentakill actually is an in-universe band, like within the skin line, but I'm not sure. My point being, you could at least do, because, like, honestly, it kind of sounds like I'm describing K-pop Demon Hunters, because you have Heartsteel, which is the boy group, and then you have KDA, which is the girl group, and there's, like, a whole bunch of... Because, like, a lot of those characters are not just human, they have more stuff, and you can actually do a lot of stuff with that. But anyway.
Real.
My kingdom for
like,
set.
Listen,
anyway.
Fortige, just let me write it, I can cook. Let me write it, I can cook!
I'm crying. But yeah, okay. Yeah. Do we want to call it there?
Yeah, we probably should, because we're just rambling now.
I'm so hungry, guys.
Same, TBH, same. I need to go eat some. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, you can hit the subscribe button, and then the number of subscribers that we have goes up. Because you're not going to get notifications because YouTube is broken. But, like, if you hit the subscribe button, then the number next to the channel name goes up. If you hit the notification bell, then you might be told when we upload new stuff. Because, again, YouTube is broken, it doesn't work. If you enjoyed this video, also consider pressing the like button, because the algorithm really likes that. If you agreed with something that we said, leave a comment, because I love preening about people agreeing with me. If you disagreed with something we said, also leave a comment, because it's good for the algorithm, and also we might engage with you a bit. You never know. Don't dislike the video. Keep it to yourself. All the social media for all of us will be, it'll be down in the description below. So if you liked one of our takes in particular, or if you want to see the creative work that those two get up to, because I don't really do that, it's there. But yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yep, bye.
Waiter.